it looks like a skewb, turns like a skewb, and solves like a skewb. So it's no surprise that the Ivy Cube is a shape mod of this.
Oh, hey, are you doing an Ivy Cube tutorial? That's my favorite Pyraminx shape mod.
Yeah, wait, Pyraminx?
Yeah.
This is clearly a shape mod
No,
of the
these
cube.
corners here are exactly like the Pyraminx centers,
No,
and
this
then
is like a banded
centers here are
cube
like with Pyraminx
the
edges, and there's no
corners
tips you have to
skewed
worry
being
about.
Okay, so the Ivy Cube is actually a Pyraminx shape mod, but since the Pyraminx and skewb are so similar, the Ivy Cube can also be solved like a skewb. I'm going to show you two ways of solving the Ivy Cube: the Skew Method and the Pyraminx Method. First, the Skew Method. This is probably the easier method out of the two and the most intuitive. First, solve the white side. I'm not saying to solve a layer, because if you make a side you'll already have a layer, just by default. Then solve the yellow corners, which should take no more than 2 moves. For example, I have one of the yellows on top already, and you just need to twist that one down to have the yellow, and obviously the yellow corners are opposite the white side. Then put the yellow center, this one, in the back, and then do this. Bring the yellow center to the top by twisting the back corner, and then bring the yellow center to the front, then twist the first corner back and the second corner. Here's just another example of that, because the first back corner won't always be in the left, it might be in the right sometimes. So just bring it to the top, then to the front, then twist this first corner back and then the second corner back, and you'll have this solved. Then the last step is to solve the rest of the centers. Put the white and yellow sides on the left and right. It doesn't matter which one's on the left and which one's on the right. And if you have a third side solved, like I do right here, the green side, put that on the bottom. If you have 3 sides solved already, you can solve the whole cube in 4 moves. Move the center that needs to be on top to the top. So for example, if that blue one's up here, just move it to the top. Then connect this corner with its corresponding center. So for example, this red one. So just like that. Then undo that first move, so bring this red corner back, and then undo this one to solve the cube. Those 4 moves cycle 3 centers. In the case that you don't have 3 sides solved, do the same moves from any angle as long as you have the 2 solved sides on the left and right. So I'm just gonna do this, 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 this. And you're sure to have a solved side now, which you can just put on the bottom and repeat the step from before. So bring the blue center to the blue side, then bring the orange center with this orange corner, then turn this one the other way to kind of bring it back, and then solve the cube with this one last move. Then you have a solved cube. The Ivy Cube can also be solved like a Pyraminx. This method was inspired by the layer-by-layer Pyraminx method, but the Pyraminx centers are the Ivy Cube's corners. So for example, there's 4 centers on a Pyraminx. It would be this one. This is actually just one piece. This one, and this one, I think. And that would kind of correspond to the corners on here. So if you can imagine it like this would be equivalent to doing this, and this would be equivalent to doing this. And the Pyraminx edges are like the Ivy Cube centers. So for example, there's 1 center in between 2 corners, and in the Pyraminx there's 1 edge in between 2 centers. And we don't have to worry about tips like on a Pyraminx. Solve all the corners on the Ivy Cube. This should be a trivial step that takes no more than 4 moves. So for example, just find 2 colors that are matching and 1 or 2 moves, in this case 1, we'll be able to put them together. And for example, these 2 reds, something like that, and the yellow here. Then look at 3 of the corners and the centers connecting them. So for example, these 3, they have to be like connected like this, like 3 sides, and these 3 centers, and this will act like the first layer of the Pyraminx. Then insert the 3 bottom layer centers. So for example, if there's this orange one up here and it needs to go in the orange side, just insert it like you would expect, like just open up this slot, bring it in, and then bring it back down to where it needs to be. And then for example, this blue one, you could just insert it like this. This white one finally, you just insert it like that, kind of like a 3x3 insertion or a Pyraminx insertion, like with the edges if you use layer by layer. Now you should have 3 sides solved, and you might even have the whole cube solved, but most likely you'll have 3 centers unsolved, like these 3. You'll either need to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise, and that'll determine what algorithm you need to do. I'll be referring to this as R and this as U. So right now the centers need to rotate counterclockwise, so I'm going to do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, and that solves the cube. In the case that they need to rotate clockwise, then do R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, and you'll have a solved cube. So those were 2 methods of solving the Ivy cube. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more cubing content like this, and I'll see you in my next video.